Today we're going to discuss terraforming Mars, why it's important, well, how are we going to do this, and what are some possible outcomes and theories of us terraforming Mars. Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, I'm Paulina. And I'm Madison.
And we are doing the video for putting life on Mars.
According to scientists, in approximately 5 billion years, the sun will run out of hydrogen and start fusing its helium, making the yellow star turn into a red giant, which will make it burn brighter and hotter.
Right now, the sun fuels life on Earth by giving us heat and light. Once the sun becomes a red giant, it will expand, engulfing Mercury, Venus, and Earth in a cosmic display of fiery rage. This is not good because Earth will cease to exist.
As there is no hope for Earth, the answer to saving humankind is through terraforming Mars, which kind of makes this important. Terraforming is to transform a planet to resemble Earth so it can sustain life. One of the most popular theories on how to sustain life on Mars is to melt the polar ice caps on Mars using greenhouse gases. We're trying to make Mars hot. And so we're going back to something we know how to do: pollute. Once we're able to create global warming on Mars, we'll be able to get the polar ice caps to melt, and once all the polar ice caps melt, we'll be able to sustain life on Mars. Robert Zubrin, author of The Case for Mars, has his own extreme way for greenhouse gases on how to get it to sustain life for Mars. He believes hurling large ice asteroids containing ammonia to Mars and making them land would make it go faster for global warming. But the thing is, once it lands, it's like 70,000 hydrogen bombs went off, and so humans won't be able to create colonies in there for a lot of centuries.
The second theory proposed by Elon Musk states to nuke Mars. While nuking Mars sounds like a cool and fun idea, it could pose the risk of too much radiation, which can alter the terrain and make it harder to understand how the planet functions.
The final theory we will be addressing is the mirror theory, proposed by Rigel Wojda, who is an engineering major at the University of Arizona. Wojda proposes that we send massive mirrors into space and point them at Mars's polar caps. This would potentially raise that temperature in some spots on Mars to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, subsequently creating oceans and releasing trapped gases into the atmosphere.
While all these ideas sound good in theory, firstly we would need to establish an atmosphere on Mars for any of these theories to work. NASA scientist Jim Green has proposed a theory which discussed a magnetic shield called Mars L1 to shield the planet from high-energy solar particles, consisting of a large dipole which will allow the red planet to restore its atmosphere. The shield will also start to heat the planet and eventually melt the ice under its poles. So if everything goes as planned, we will have life on Mars.
Now we landed on Mars! Hooray! We're finally able to sustain life. Humans are finally able to colonize Mars and live on it, and we'll make Mars a new Earth. But what's the after? Here, some of the creators and I came up with our own theories of what the after is. My theory on the after of when humans colonize Mars after they make it sustainable for life is, well, just a little bit of what we already know. Evolutionary theory. I believe if humans want to live on Mars, they're going to have to adapt to this new environment. This new environment has 2 feet deep oceans, which is totally different marine life and totally different food supply that we're used to. The plants are going to be different. The other animals living there are going to be different. And for humans, for us to survive, we're going to have to adapt. Are we even going to still be humans anymore? After a while, would we just be our separate subspecies, like how chimpanzees and gorillas are different from one another? Which was probably what was going to happen. But the thing is, with evolutionary theory, things that don't adapt die. And I feel like if humans do not find a way to adapt to their new environment on Mars, it's a high possibility that humankind on Mars and maybe on Earth, depending on the time, will die.
If we end up making it to Mars and the planet has had adequate time to terraform, I believe life would begin to disintegrate. Humans will always do what is easiest, and now that they know they could just move planets if times get tough, what will stop them from simply doing what they want? What will stop them from using the planet for all that it is worth and then throwing it away? We could just move planets again, right? The truth is that it is a human characteristic to be selfish, and even if we migrate to a new planet, we will still be humans. On the topic of evolution, I believe that because the interplanetary move will only further our greed and laziness, like the pinky toe, our limbs will begin to shrivel and become obsolete. We will become heads on top of three peculiar looking appendages, two of which will have opposable thumb attachments. Then all we will know how to do is flee in times of strife, and our brains will get smaller and smaller until we are simple ground dwelling mammals once more.
From time, humans have evolved and adapted on Earth. So would we continue to evolve on the new sustainable red planet? It is more likely that we would. Maybe with the sun being bigger and potentially hotter, humans won't need much hair, making our future ancestors hairless. Incorporating wavelengths of the light spectrum, allegedly speaking, if we get closer to the infrared side, our eyes can become larger. I do believe Mars can be a second Earth, but with oceans being 2 feet deep and potentially other animal life forms surrounding humans, we will have to learn to adapt instinctively, and therefore having to bring back survival of the fittest.
The truth is, we have no idea what will happen once we terraform Mars. Maybe all those sci-fi authors are right. Maybe we'll just go back with being the dinosaurs. Maybe we'll just be so obsessed with technology. Technology would be our end for us. But up until this point, everything's just speculation. Thank you for watching.